my friends. Hello. I'd like to say that the title is not clickbait. This really is my final ASMR/YouTube video for the foreseeable future. In 3 days from right now, this recording session, so a little less time when this goes up, I will be moving to university. And that means that I probably won't have time, or I probably won't have free time, let alone like a time when I would be able to record ASMR while with roommates, and I won't have this room. I don't know if I'm even bringing my microphone. Probably not, if I'm being honest. That's something I have to think about. But yeah, so that means this is my final video. I didn't really have anything planned to say. Obviously I have a plan for what I want to do with this video, but I don't have anything planned that I want to speak. I just want to, I don't know. It's been an incredible 3 years. It's insane to think that, it started as I just wanted to make an ASMR channel, as any ASMR artist does when they first begin. And here we are now. I'm a YouTube partner. There's a Discord server. I have over 1,500 subscribers. And let me just check something. This is going to be my 80th video that I upload. So ending it off on a nice 80 uploads, which is, I think, really gorgeous. So what I wanted to do with this video is look at my entire history of my channel, along with you guys, and kind of commentate like certain spots, and just kind of go along and be like, oh, I remember that, and oh, this was that, and all the moments that this channel had. And yeah, so I am going to be doing that in OBS, so I can have the face cam up in the corner as I scroll. So I'm going to swap over to that right now, so I'll see you in a second. Alright, so here I am on my channel page. I might, mid-video do some readjusting if this face cam blocks anything, but yeah, so here we are. 1.59 thousand subscribers, 79 videos. This will be the 80th, like I said. An outdated Discord link that I need to update, and my Instagram account, which I might continue posting on. So I guess that might be the one way you can stay up to date with me. This is the email address if you want to reach me. My YouTube URL, joined August 5th, 2022. And an upward of 100,000 views, 110,000, close to 111,000. So thank you very much for that, everyone. That is pretty crazy. So let's just immediately videos, and I know they do have the oldest here, but let's just scroll all the way down and go from the bottom up, because that feels more appropriate. So here we are, the first video ever. Can you see my mouse? No, you cannot. I don't know how to change that, but yeah, there it is. My first video ever. Caring Friend Helps You Relax ASMR, which to this day has 590 views and was released 3 years ago. So if you haven't watched the video where I explain where I got my inspiration to start an ASMR channel, it's a very strange source of inspiration. It comes from what's supposed to be a joke, but is actually taken pretty seriously. Funky Kong ASMR videos. Now, as crazy as this seems, it started off as like a one-off, but then people were genuinely making Funky Kong ASMR videos, and Funky Kong was like the kindest guy and gave really good advice and was just like a genuine friend for you. And I had been watching ASMR for probably close to a decade, a little under by that point. So I had seen it all, but that was like, wow, this is a level of friendship I've never seen in an ASMR video. I want to do that as well, because throughout my life, I've known a lot of people who don't have the best home lives or personal lives, and would kind of need a friendly ASMR channel to turn to for a source of hope or happiness. And I was like, I would love to be a non-satirical version of the Funky Kong ASMR videos. And that's where the name ASMR Friend was born. And that's why this was my first ever video, Caring Friend Helped You Relax. And the whole thought process was, I'm just gonna be, when I actually created a channel, I wanted every single video for me to be your friend. And I am genuinely your friend. So many people have reached out, and we've had great conversations. I don't write anyone off, and if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. I will talk to you as well. Now, obviously, I couldn't make it a friend roleplay every single time, but I made sure that you and I had a connection. So, yeah, that's what this is. The very simple, just hanging out with your friend who just really cares about you. Now, I was about to begin sophomore year of high school, I believe. Yes, because of my hair, which very long hair. It had been growing out for a while at that point. It was my first time growing out my hair. I remember it was obviously tail end of summer, so it wasn't the best looking that night, but I was like, whatever. It looks fine. Looking back, I wish I had done something a little different with it, but it's okay. And I remember I was like, I don't know what to do for my profile photo. So this shot right there was my profile photo for a while. And then my second video, a friend's care package ASMR, which obviously same kind of deal where you're just talking with your friend, even though I'm wearing the same shirt. I believe that was filmed the night after I filmed the first one. So there you go. And then ASMR in the rain. So at that point, I had already known a little bit on how to edit in Premiere Pro. And I made all of my thumbnails in Photoshop, still do. But I learned Photoshop specifically to make thumbnails, so that's why you can kind of watch as my Photoshop skills get better as the videos go on. But yeah, so I was like, okay, I know how to add a rain effect and rain sounds, so I'm going to do that for a video. And that's basically what that was. I was like, let me just show off my editing skills and make it really relaxing. The schoolmate helps with homework. So obviously on my channel, I have a series called The Academy. It's kind of how I lovingly refer to it. Technically it's the ASMR. Oh no, I think I have the playlist is called The Academy. But technically The Academy is, its proper name is the ASMR, the Academy of Scholastics, Magic, and Relaxation. And obviously the schoolmate, I made a character in that series. However, obviously 3 years ago when I made this video, I didn't have that planned. I was just like, people love hanging out with schoolmates. People love schoolmate videos, so I'll do one. And the thought process behind the outfit was like, people like the more anime inspired designs, I feel. So I was like, I'll throw on short sleeve button up with a tie and have it look really simple. And yeah, and might I say probably up to like the daily paper cleaning your face. I was probably doing these nightly, maybe skip a night, but like I was really on my grind when I first started, because I feel like everyone is when they first start. Packing for a beach trip, that was sometimes I'm not a huge like beach person. Never have been, never will be. But sometimes during summer, I'll really get into the concept of the beach and be like, wouldn't it be nice to kind of like hang out with your friends at the beach? So, and plus my families were big sailors, so we sailed to the Bahamas. I think it might have been that summer. If not the summer. No, it was the summer after, actually. Yeah, so I don't know why I made this video. I guess I was just like, well, it's another concept and I have everything, available right now. I have it out. Oh, we had gone to Key West. That was it, because that's where I got that Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, so I just kind of had everything out, and I was like, that could be a fun video. Friend lends you his books. I was like, that's a pretty classic concept. Makes for some good tapping. I have your books. Friend gives you game. I can't see because my phone is in the way. Friend gives you game recommendations. Kind of like the sibling to the books. It's basically just the video game version. Those are some very interesting thumbnails, I might say, for those two. I don't know why I chose those two stills, but the daily paper, that was a really strange concept of a video. I had an old newspaper, and so the entire thought was like, I'll do a timepiece, I don't know, and just reading the daily paper. Cleaning your face ASMR, I really like it when people like get up close and kind of, do like that. So I was like, I'll do a whole video just for that. Soft-spoken ASMR, I was like, I only do whispering. I'll do a soft-spoken video and just kind of talk, because I hadn't had a video up to that point yet where it wasn't a role play. I guess cleaning your face kind of wasn't, but still it had a concept. And then the Witch Doctor came around. This was probably my first fully fleshed out character / video. That's when I was really like, I want to show off my editing skills. If I could recommend any early videos of mine, probably that one, because I really went all out with that editing. I wanted it to be fully magic, and I think it holds up. It was probably better at editing in those days than I am right now. So that was probably prime Witch Doctor times. I kind of want to go back and watch that. Here's something really interesting. There was actually a demo video for this. So it was called I think like the Doctor's Apprentice or something, and it was supposed to be like a young version, like kind of like a teenage like apprentice to a witch doctor. And it had a much different feel, where you, the viewer, came up to me and you were like, oh, are you a witch doctor? And I was like, well, I'm an apprentice, I can show you some stuff if you want. And I was just like, And I remember like during the recording, I was like, this doesn't flow right. I don't know. So then a little bit later, I was just like, I'll just do full on witch doctor and have it just be like a meeting. And that obviously went much better. You Are Good Enough. This one was really heavy to my roots, where I was just like, okay, I've been straying a little far from why I created this. Let me just go all out and just tell you how important you are, because you are, and you really are good enough, and you matter. So yeah, that's just an almost 11-minute video of me just talking to you and just telling you a bunch of positive affirmations. Whoops, all ASMRtist. This is the first Metopia video. I was like, I really want a gaming series, because I feel like those are always really fun. The Let's Play might be dead, but in certain corners of YouTube they aren't. And I was like, I want one of those. Now, as you can see, this is the first video that's come up that has over 1,000 views. It was not like that at the time. I don't know when it reached that or when it started getting views, but my Metopia videos always do really poorly, which is sad, but I understand it. It is kind of annoying when you see like, oh, episode 4. That means I have to go back and watch episodes 1, 2, and 3 if I want to watch this. I'm not going to do that. So I get it. Honestly, I do those for me. And also my friend one time who knows about the channel was like, one night I genuinely just sat down and watched your entire Metopia series. And I was like, hey, that's good. That means like people actually watch it as a series. ASMR, a very sleepy man. This was a really strange concept. I was just like, I want to make another video, but I don't know what about. And I was just like, I'll just be a really sleepy guy because I was tired that night. I don't know, I had my hair pulled back. I was just like, it looks like a new character. This was around the point when I was losing steam. Yeah, I wasn't seeing a lot of results from, I probably had around 20 subscribers. And I don't know, I was just losing ideas. And yeah, it was, I don't know, it was a very strange video. Chaotic ASMR, this was inspired by Miss Manganese ASMR. Really loved watching her videos. I still do, I just haven't seen her in a while. I don't know if she stopped uploading or YouTube stopped recommending them to me, but I wanted to do something similar to that. It was, you know, lights on, I was standing up, I was running around. I was like, this is gonna make me enjoy it again. And then ASMR Merry Christmas. This was just, you know, the Christmas video, classic. I think it was recorded on Christmas night, if not Eve, but I'm pretty sure from my outfit, it was Christmas night. And then I disappear for like probably half a year. And you know, I'm not really missed because like I said, I have probably around 20 subscribers. And then, yeah, 6 months later or something around that, summer begins and I'm like, you know what? I think I'll post on the channel again. It's been a while. And so I post this very lo-fi. It's just I record it on my phone instead of my laptop, so no Blue Yeti microphone, no dim lights, just me on my floor with my phone propped up against my bed. And it finally hits. It's my first video that explodes. Now, when I say explode, I mean in relation to what I had been doing before. But I shoot up to like 50 subscribers pretty fast. And I was like, oh wow, okay. All I had to do was cut my hair, and suddenly people want to watch me now. It was bad timing though, because, as is apparent by the next video, ASMR on a boat, I was traveling to the Bahamas on a sailboat with my family, so I wasn't in my room to record ASMR videos, and I was like, well, that, you know, just figures. I finally started getting traction. I'm not around to capitalize on it and keep it up, but whatever, I'll do my best. So I do ASMR on a boat, and it doesn't perform as well, but I was like, whatever, I'm getting myself out. And then I get home and I want to try out shorts, and lo and behold, I don't know how shorts work, so this doesn't become a short, and I just have hashtag shorts in a 1-minute video of me laying in my bed on my phone. But whatever, no one really cares about that video. Oh, the ASMR school. This was a wannabe series. I wanted to do a lot of installations in this, and I did start scripting a second one. But I was like, okay, a lot of people kind of see ASMR and don't really know what it is specifically. So I'm going to teach them. I'm going to make a whole series about ASMR, teaching ASMR. So this first one, I was like, okay, just the basics. Every class has to start out with vocabulary. So I taught vocabulary lessons, and I did it in sort of a character, you know. And this character, this professor, would actually go on to also be in the Academy series. But the main purpose was to actually teach about ASMR. ASMR, my trip to Japan, pretty straightforward. I had been to Japan for spring break. I was like, people are probably going to want to see that. yeah, that's pretty much it. I really like, this is the second version of the thumbnail I came up with there. It's the first one, it was like a collage, but I figured that one was probably more concise and cooler. More people would probably want to click on that. The second installation of Utopia, pretty straightforward there. Here it is. This feels almost historic. The first Beatles video on my channel. Yes. Yeah. I was the Beatles ASMR guy for a while, I know. But yeah, there it was. And at the time, it didn't really become that big. But later on it did. Let me just... Yeah, right now it's sitting at 5,000 views. Obviously, second part's up here, but we'll get to that. But yeah, there you go. The first Beatles video. Now, I will say, in relation to the Beatles, I started listening to the Beatles right around this video. Like, literally, I started listening to the Beatles around when this was uploaded. So if you want to know, like, the history of when I started listening to the Beatles, you just have to go to the beginning of my YouTube channel, and you can just watch. So that means it took me about a year or so to finally make a video about them. So there you go, fun fact. Since I know a lot of you listen to the Beatles, ASMR with my friend, so obviously my friend was having a sleepover, so I was like, hey guys, you want to record a video for my channel? And he was like, sure. Fun fact, there was a second guy, there's a second friend in my room that it was supposed to be the three of us, and he just was being weird about it in a funny way and just didn't end up the video. So it was just Ollie and I doing it. I really wish it was all three of us, because that would have been way funnier, but whatever. I think this is one of the better videos. I really like it. ASMR in a boat too. I was back on the sailboat. Not much to be said about that. This is my first normal, quote unquote, ASMR video where I was like, I told myself I don't want to do sound assortments or anything boring with my channel. But then it was this deflated bouncy ball, and I was just like, this makes such a good sound. I'm sorry, I need to break my rule and do a sound assortment, because I can't incorporate that into a video normally. So I was just like, I'll just find 4 other really good sounds and just make a sound assortment. And to this day, this is probably my most normal video. I need to watch that again, because sometimes, I admit, I will fall asleep to my own videos. It's not very commonly, it's happened maybe once or twice ever, but yeah, so I might go back to that. Second parts of the Beatles records, not much to be said about that. My first collaboration with Dickie ASMR. So that started because I think she had been commenting on my channel first, and I was like, oh, let me go check out her channel. I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And I was like, oh, I forget who followed you on Instagram, but we followed each other. And I was like, wow, I can actually reach out to someone. This is incredible. So I did, and I was like, do you want to collaborate? She was like, of course. So we did a video for my channel and a video for her channel, and I think they're really cool, and I had a lot of fun making them. Dickie, if you're watching this, thank you again for that. We should talk more, because, yeah, I don't know. Boss Rush, Metopia 3, again, not much. I will say, I really love making the Metopia thumbnails. It's, like, tapping into my, like, childhood dream of becoming, like, a normal YouTuber, which still I am kind of living out my childhood dream of becoming a YouTuber at this, but, like, this makes me feel like a Let's Player, you know, making thumbnails like that. Reading a Beatles Life magazine. I think this only had 2 installations. Yeah, it's up there. I was just like, I had to be that I was like, I think this is going to do some numbers. I thought the thumbnail was fantastic. I thought the video was fantastic. I thought my outfit was fantastic. And it's a Stardew Valley roleplay. I was like, this is gonna go somewhere. To this day, probably one of my favorite videos I've ever made. But it was the next video that I thought was going to just go under the radar and rolling into the ASMR, the creation of the Academy. That was my first video to like actually get me attention. I remember it was, I think, my first video to get 1,000 views, and it just grew at an unprecedented rate for what I had seen before. And I was just like, what? But my Stardew Valley video is right there. Amazing. I thought rolling into the ASMR was just gonna phew. But no, that's the one everyone was just like, this is a good video. I like this. I like your channel. And then after that we have the luxury hotel check-in, my most popular video to this date, with 16,000 views. Now, similar to Sound Assortments, I was like, I don't want to do any normal role plays, but I was like, I really love hotels because of my personal past and I don't know, just the idea of them. So I was like, I kind of want to do a hotel role play. I'll let myself do that. And I don't think it really blew up at the time, but it was one of those things where I was just like, a few months later, I was just looking and I was like, whoa, what? When did this get to this many views? And it just kept growing. Yeah, it was one of those things where you didn't think it was going to go anywhere, and here we are. Anyway, so back to this one, creation of the ASMR. This was when I was like, I want to do an ephemeral rift styled deal where I have like a storyline and like a place for a bunch of different characters and lore and all of that. So we come to the ASMR story, and the first character other than the front desk guy and the enrolling thing to be introduced in the series, because I was like, okay, I had just written this very long backstory for the ASMR. The first thing I want to do is talk about it, to kind of tell everyone like, hey, this thing I created, it has a backstory and lore and whatnot, and you should look into it. So it's one of those things where it's like drop hints without being too obvious. And to this day, I have so much written that I still need to get on this channel, because I don't want to just like sit down and be like, this is everything I had planned, because where's the fun in that? One day, I don't know how long, I'll come back to this channel and I'll pick up the Academy series again. And then here it is. George Harrison ASMR. Not my largest in numbers, sitting at 8.6 thousand, but probably my most famous video. I mean, if you're watching this video and this isn't your first video, you know about this video. Just be honest with yourself. I can't tell you how many people have come to this channel from this video. There was someone messaged me on Instagram and was like, you've made it onto like Beatles Twitter. Someone made a tweet about you because of this video. I think someone messaged me and was like, you've made it onto Beatles TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, someone made an edit of me off of this video. And when I say they took me so out of context, they took the two like risque lines that I said, and I didn't even like realize how bad they sound out of context, because I was just flowing with it. And yeah, it was it looked pretty bad, but the edit was very classic edit, like slowed down, like me flipping my hair and straightening my tie. And as weird as it is, and my friend was like, I don't like it. I don't like watching people like fawn over my friend. I'll admit, I was actually very flattered. I was like, wow, people like me enough to make edits off of me. That's actually really nice. So, yeah. And, I mean, I could probably make an whole video about that video. But yeah. And then reading Beatles Live magazine, that was, I think, the last time I did that. And then I had reached 200 subscribers, yay. It only took me this long. But, I mean, that's normal. So, but, let's see, I was reaching the end of my sophomore year, I believe. Oh, so, no, that doesn't make sense. Oh, no. This was the end of my junior year. Yes. No, that wasn't the end of my junior year. I think that, yeah, this was during my junior year of high school. And I was just like, I think I have enough subscribers now where I could get enough questions from them to do a Q&A. It's something I've always wanted to do, because how cool is it that you're quote-unquote famous enough to just talk about yourself and have people want to know about that. And it made me feel really great knowing that I had enough people watching me that wanted to know about me, and I could do an actual real Q&A, something I had wanted to do my entire life. That was definitely like a bucket list moment right there with this video. Oh, look at that, the preview is even talking about how Funky Kong inspired me. Yeah, so that was really amazing. Best Friend Keeps You Company. This was like, I haven't done a video like how I wanted to when I first formed this channel in a while. You know, like hanging out with your friend kind of video. So I was just like, I'll do another one of those. Return to form. Metopia Installation 4. Naming all the Beatles songs. There's a Sporkle quiz that you can name all the Beatles songs in, and during my first period of junior year, which was creative photo, when I had downtime I would do it, and I got to a point where I could name them all, so I was like, okay, I'll do that for a video, show myself off a little. My second collaboration, Raining Tingles ASMR, who was a very early friend of the channel, one of my first viewers ever. I remember I watched her little before I formed the channel, and when I did, I commented on one of her videos. I was like, hey, you're like one of the inspirations behind me forming a channel. So that's how she came to check me out, and it took us that long to finally collaborate, but hey, we did it, despite all the complications. So yeah, hanging out before bed, I address it in the video, but I filmed it wrong. I filmed it on my phone, and I did it vertically accidentally, so the entire video looks like that, but I think it's fine. That one I've wanted to feel really cozy, be like we're hanging out in bed. Isn't that such like a cozy concept? Like, makes you feel really comfortable. That one was really fun to film. A sleepover with a friend. I believe so. I had already been filming that, but around that time I had hit 300 subscribers. So crazy that it takes me like that long to reach 200, and then in only this time it took me I reached another 100. So I was at 300. So I was like, this is one of my harder but more work in this video, so it can double as a 300 subscribers special. And this is another video I'm very proud of because it's like not a movie per se, but it's in segments, you know, where it goes through all the steps of a sleepover. And I think it's one of my most immersive videos, and sometimes I'll find myself going back to it to watch just to feel like I'm at a sleepover, even though I guess it's a sleepover with myself. But my miscellaneous records, I was like, I want to show off the records that aren't Beatles. Yeah, George Harrison Part 2. A lot of people obviously had been asking for one, so I gave it to them, and everyone was like, yay! Yes, I can't believe this day came. ASMR reading the entire Beatles discography. This was, I think, a 400 subscriber special, which again, crazy. That's like 200, 300, 400. 2 videos later, 400. It's like one of those things where it's a snowball effect, where it's like, as you have big numbers, you get bigger numbers, because more people trust your channel. So that one, I think I had polled everyone. It's like, what would you want to see for a 400 subscriber special? And that's what ended up winning. New Year's party with George Harrison. I was just like, hey, people are loving the George Harrison videos. I'd be happy to make more. So I made that. And then I remember I had accidentally put on the wrong blazer. I thought I was wearing the gray one, and then I realized halfway through, I looked down, I was like, oh my gosh, this is black. I didn't notice in the darkness. So you can actually, there's a cut, and then I had dressed, and I'm like, oh, you like my new suit? Yeah, I wore it for this party. That's me being like, well, I can't change and restart now. So there you go, little behind the scenes for you. John Lennon ASMR. Similar to this one, also gains a lot of traction, but it kind of more, not controversial, but people take the piss out of it a lot more than the George Harrison one, just because of who John Lennon was, I guess. But obviously another big performer, but people love George a lot more, so. And then My Life Right Now, not an ASMR video where I say I'm gonna need a break. I can't keep filming right now, and that was because there was something really personal going on in my life at that time, and it comes up again later in my history, but yeah, it was, I remember that one ironically also kind of gained traction pretty fast, but I think it's because, you know, when someone drops a video where non-edited thumbnail and just something ominous like loss, like people are obviously gonna be like, what's going on? But yeah, so I kind of filmed everyone to say like, I'm gonna need a break for a while just because of something happening. And then a little while afterwards I was like, actually it's probably better for me if I push on like nothing's wrong, because then, you know, you don't have to face it, and it makes everything feel normal. So I had this video recorded, this Breath of the Wild geoguesser, so I was like, I'll publish it just because I want to get it out there. And that didn't do very well, still doesn't, but that's another one I had a lot of fun doing, and I also really like that thumbnail. But my favorite ASMR artist was my like official return from my break, because like I said, this was Breath of the Wild geoguesser was pre-recorded, so my favorite ASMR artist was my first like I'm back video. And if you notice that his video has a green screen background, because I had just gotten a green screen for free, but the lighting was strange, so I couldn't really set it up to like totally beautifully chroma key it. So, but I was like, well, it probably feels better if I have a backdrop. But yeah, in that video I just kind of talked about my favorite ASMR artist, and then I asked people on the community post, I was like, do you like my bedroom background more, the green screen background more? And people were like, the bedroom. And I was like, okay, I guess that's better for me, because then I don't have to keep on setting up my green screen. But and then here it is. video also probably got me most of my viewers all about Finland. So this started because around that time, obviously a little before, because I needed time to fall in love with Finland. Well, I just kind of said it. I fell in love with Finland around that time. And I was like, I love this so much. I want to make a whole video just about the country. I wanted to share everything I was doing at that time and all the books that I had gotten. And a lot of Finnish people came to the channel and was like, why are you making a video about our country? Thank you so much for acknowledging us. We didn't think anyone was ever going to do that. So then I was like, this is great. My like viewers are mostly Finnish now. It's like everything I could ever want. And yeah, so that's my second most popular video, and another one I'm very proud of, because I think the thumbnail's great, I think the title's great, I think the video is great, and I think the concept is great. And then word association. This was inspired by I think her name is Somnial Sleeps, where she did the exact same video, and I was like, that's a really cool concept. I want to do that. So, obviously I credit her first thing in the video, and I have a link to either her channel or the video in the description. But I was just like, I love word associations. I want to do that too. And then another ASMR friend hangout, return to form. Fan made best of. This was like, I was sitting in class one day in physics, and my teacher put on, like a artist essentials album, and I was just like, these essential albums, they always have the same exact songs that you always hear, and sometimes they're not even the best ones. I'm gonna make my own lists of all like the quote-unquote essentials and best songs, and then tell everyone what I put. So I did it with a few of my favorite bands at that time, and I think that's a really fun concept. And then I disappeared for a while again, partly because of what I covered in my life right now, and partly because, well, to be fair, it's mainly fueled by what was going on. But also, yeah, I don't know. I guess I was kind of, it's not, yeah, I'd say actually just chalk it up to mainly what was going on, because it was huge. So I did a return Q&A and where I've been, and yeah, it was also kind of not burnout per se, but I wasn't, the passion wasn't there anymore. I wasn't as eager to be like, can't wait to make an ASMR video. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get back into it. I'm gonna do a Q&A because I love doing those and tell everyone where I've been. And then I started writing a book called Centellia, and I was like, well, where else am I gonna share it than an ASMR channel? So I read chapter 1, and then I disappeared for 3 months because, like I said, I just can't keep on doing it because of everything that's been going on. And I returned with a beard. Because I was like, life's really sad right now. What do all musicians do when they are sad? They grow facial hair. So I did the exact same thing. And we are in my senior year now. I forget exactly where my senior year started. Probably, yeah, I don't know. The relearning, easing back into it, was around the beginning. So yeah, I was actually just like, hey, I'm back. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of forgot how to do this whole friend talks about music with you. That's what I was like. I've been listening to a lot of new music. I want to talk about it again. Finnish trigger words. A bunch of people were asking me, it's like, hey, are you gonna do another Finnish video? I was like, yeah, just give me time. And because I had been slacking on my Finnish, so I was like, I don't want to expose myself. So what I did was like Finnish trigger words words. Perfect. I just write down a bunch of trigger words. And yeah, I kind of got away with it. And people were like, hey, you did another finished video. Awesome. And that one, did some numbers. And I was like, cool. I've fulfilled my obligation. But I like doing it. I think, yeah, I only speak Finnish in this video. To be fair, it's very broken Finnish, and I don't say a lot, but yeah, I was like, I only want to speak Finnish. And I make the Discord server, and that's still accessible if you want to join, because like I said, there's only going to be so many ways to keep up with me and reach out from here on out. New Year's with your schoolmate. It was New Year's, and I wanted to bring back the schoolmate character because it had been a while, and I wanted to make another Academy installation. My entire record collection, very straightforward. It's every single record I owned at that point, and obviously my collection has grown since then. But yeah, the 5th installation, Utopia, Sedalia Chapter 2, Rivers, Cuomo, ASMR. I was listening to a lot of Weezer around that point. And, I still do, because this is only 6 months ago. We've entered less than a year territory. And I was like, I could probably get away with Rivers Cuomo. I think I could pull that off. But I was like, I have my facial hair, so I'll have to be him from Pinkerton. Sorry, got sidetracked there trying to think about something that's interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Maybe it was around there. But yeah, fun fact, the glasses I wear in that video and the glasses I'm wearing right now are not the same, even though they look similar. Those ones are a lot bigger. Look a little goofier, but kind of as with Cuomo. And then followed up, it was a Fortnite gameplay commentary because I started playing kind of for the first time, more or less, Fortnite, and was enjoying it. So I was like, this is a pretty good game. I want to show it off. And it was like a sucker punch, dude, because then I realized, like, I just posted Weezer ASMR back to back with Fortnite ASMR. I gotta calm down, dude. So then I was like, I've been wanting to make a Ghost video for so long, because they're probably my favorite band ever. And I finally got the concept for it, and so I did it. And if you notice, I'm cleanly shaven, as compared to back then. And that's because I was like, I want to be happy again. That kind of really started when I cut my hair back here, from there to there. I was like, I want to turn things around, I want to get out of the slump I was in. And when I say the slump I was in, it's not a self-induced, just like, man, I'm feeling bad about myself. There was something really, really serious that had just occurred in my life. And I never really wanted to talk about it because I don't think people need to know that much about me personally, but I will say it was the loss of a very close loved one. That's what my life right now is about, is learning that the loved one has a set amount of time left, and that's why my videos start to falter here and there, and yeah, that's why I took a big break here, was because I think around that time I had just lost them, and then a few months later I was like, I'm gonna cut my hair, I'm gonna clean myself up a little, and then it's when I went cleanly shaven and I was just like, I want to look my age again. I want to finish my senior year of high school looking like an 18-year-old instead of a 23-year-old. And I was just like, that's it. I've kind of fixed myself. I have short hair. I'm cleanly shaven. I'm back. And then I wanted to do another ASMR on the floor to kind of as a callback to the video that kind of first blew up. Tapping on game cases. I was watching a video by a guy named like Tiny Cabin Candy or something similar to that, where he tapped on a Switch case and would only tap on it for like a second and then stop, and I was like, that's such a good sound, keep going. So I was like, I'll do it myself. Greek myths and tales, that was, I just got in a book about Greek myths and tales, and I was like, people are probably gonna want to hear that. Naming and ranking every Ghost song is similar to the Beatles one, where I name every single Ghost song, but since there's not as many Ghost songs, I was like, I'll also rank every single one. And then I take a break for summer, because I was, busy and traveling. And at this point, I started growing my beard back out because I was like, I just look better with it. Everyone's been telling me, and I'm allowed to look older now because I'm entering university. So I talked about my trip to Paris that I took, and it wasn't my only trip, but obviously it was my longest, I'll say that, and most eventful. I mean, we're kind of in the modern age now, so it's not really reminiscing, it's just saying why I put out the videos that I did. Fan ask you personal questions, you're a celebrity. I watched a lot of those. It makes me feel really good, like feeling like I'm a celebrity. So I was like, I'll make one, and be a very respectable fan, because I feel like that's something that's lacking when fans. I don't know. Tapping on boxes. I looked around my room. I was like, I have a ton of boxes, and I kind of talked about it in the video. I was like, I'll tap on these boxes. That's so dumb. ASMR, you can't think about ASMR too hard, otherwise you're just like, why? Avatar ASMR, not trigger words. Avatar is my favorite movie series, so I was like, I want to make a video about it somehow without painting myself blue. And that was my solution. Stardew Valley ASMR. This was another series I want to start, which sadly probably won't get its next installation for a long while. Because but that was also kind of inspired by Snow Monkey, and I also say that in the video, where it's recorded and I dub over it. Register Cashier roleplay. I'm gonna talk about music again, and then Comic-Con, story time and all. And we're caught up. I mean, yeah, that was the entire history of ASMR Friend. That's insane. Obviously, we have all the posts, but I don't really feel like I need to cover these, because it's not like I'm gonna be like, in this post I made when I was doing this. Like, I guess there's the first time I played an open mic. That was pretty cool. Which obviously now I make my own music and play live and whatnot. And I'm starting a band in university. Already talking to people. Yeah. Gosh, I used to play everything with my thumb, dude. I'm self-taught in guitar, and I know that's a bass. I'm also self-taught in bass. I own a bass. Trust me, I don't play like this anymore. Oh gosh. Yeah. That's it. Oh, look at me. 100 subscribers. Isn't that fun? That's me in the Bahamas. That's me when I cut my hair, when I took a long break. I wanted to become quote-unquote professional, so I made this blurry photo, which looked better when it was small, but this was my first custom-made YouTube icon. And then it was obviously this for the longest time, up until very, very recently when I decided to change it to, yeah, you can see that, to the one I have right now, because I was like, I don't look like that. That photo was taken in my sophomore year of high school. I don't look like that anymore. But, I mean, we also have, I guess, the playlists. I have everything pertaining to music, the Academy series, my role plays, Beatles, Lo-Fi, and Utopia. But that's it. That's the entire history of ASMR Friend. Maybe I'll make myself full screen here for this final moment. There we go. Hello. So I just got a haircut, and my haircutter made it like extra short since I was going away and won't see her for a while. So it doesn't look the greatest, but yeah, that's it. It's been an incredible 3 years. I've been able to meet, I mean, not literally meet, but I've been able to talk to so many of you, whether it be on Discord, or you emailed me, or you reached out to me on Instagram, or comments, or anything. It's so amazing when you do something for a purpose and you are able to see your mission come to fruition, have not lasting, but have effects, you know. All these people that reach out and be like, I love your videos, they really help. People in the comments saying like, I was feeling bad today, this made me feel good. It's just, it's really gorgeous, and exactly why I made this channel. And part of me thinks like, oh, I'll just push on, I'll find a way to record in university, but I don't want to lie to myself or you and say that I'll be able to promise that, because I won't be able to, and I can't. And I think it's better if, at least for right now, until if I do figure something out, this is it. This is the end of ASMR Friend right now. And we're not the biggest channel. We're not going to have videos made about us or other people saying how sad it is that we're leaving. But to me, just a random guy who, you know, goes about his day to day and has to face normal challenges like everyone else, to have 1,500 people plus watch you and be interested in what you do and like what you put out, to know that I have to leave 1,500 people behind for now, it's sad. It's really sad. But it's a poetic kind of sadness. And it's not like I'm dying. Like I said, you can still reach out to me if you want. I don't disappear now. Just my videos. I'll still be active in the Discord if things happen. And like I said, I'll probably still post on my Instagram just so I still have a way to, you know, be with you guys. But I'm going to miss making YouTube videos. I really love YouTube. You know, being in the Gen Z generation, obviously everyone wanted to be a YouTuber, but not everyone did. And I was one of the lucky few who did get to be. Maybe not as a job, but I got to be a proper YouTuber. And my friend told me that. He's like, you're living my dream right now. That's insane. And I was like, I'm living my dream. I didn't know I was going to be ASMR, but not everything is planned. You don't know what's going to happen. So, it's just more new ASMR friend videos. But for me, you know, this is my passion project. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed this channel. I hope both of them were able to bring you relaxation, to bring you peace, to bring you comfort, to bring you enjoyment, and to bring you a genuine friend. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching both this video and for the past 3 years. I hope you sleep well tonight, tomorrow, the rest of this week, and for the entire rest of your life. And I will see you when I return.